So life doesn't always go as planned. And when we're faced with that reality, it can be a little bit frustrating. So today's a little bit different. I just wanted to share my heart with you. And if you hear me being a little bit slow or like stuttering my words, I will explain that and you will understand like all of this in just a second. So bear with me. Life does not always go necessarily the way that we want it to. And we at times try to do all that we can to have it go the way we want it. We set up these goals, we create habits, we have dreams and aspirations, and we are working towards something most of the time. And that is a good and a beautiful thing. But then when that plan or that way in which things are going is challenging, can leave us a little bit confused or scared or frustrated or just straight up angry. So because of that, sometimes in order to understand it, we want to channel that somewhere. We want to blame something to justify or to make sense of what's taking place. We want to blame a thing or a person so that we can try to bring context to a situation that we don't necessarily understand. And this is where I think sometimes the blaming of God takes place. Now hold on with me just for a second and let me just play this out, and I'm hoping that it makes sense. So right now, and why I'm struggling with my words, is I fell last week and I got a concussion, and it is not my first concussion. I've had like 6, 7, I don't know. And this time I'm having a bit of a hard time with the recovery process, and some of the things I'm struggling with are like word recall and communicating and really comprehending what is being said. And I think I'm making a stutter because I'm trying to say things that like aren't coming out right, and so I'm stuttering over it. When my kids are crying or screaming, like I just get really overwhelmed. For the first few days I literally could not really be around them without having to like leave, and struggling with like reading and writing and memory, and just everything is just a little off right now. But the biggest roles that I have in my life are a wife, a mom, and then my part-time job, which is a counselor. And with the stuff that I have going on, those 3 roles are being challenged directly. I cannot counsel people if I can't understand what they are saying, and it's difficult when I can't get my words out. Then because I get so tired, my husband is having to pick up the slack for everything that like I just can't handle right now. And I'm a perseverer, you know, like I know you are out there, you guys that just like, it doesn't matter what comes up, like you're gonna find a way through it. And there's some beauty in that, but there's also times where things just kind of get slowed down for you. And so because of what's going on, and I know this sounds dramatic, and it is not life ending, and I'm sure that I will be fine in a couple of weeks, but it's just like right now, And so sometimes your circumstances are just right now, but that does not mean that they do not have great impact on your life, even if it's not something that's necessarily long lasting. And so there's a bit of an identity crisis happening, right? Where, I'm a mom, I should be able to persevere and overcome and not let my kids whining become so overwhelming that I can't be around them. There's like shame attached to that. Being a wife, like I should be able to do the normal things that I usually do, and being a counselor, like it's just not working. So life's not going necessarily the way that I want it to go right now, and the way that I saw it going. And this is where I want to challenge you if you are going through a difficult time or you are just in a spot of not understanding what is taking place. Because like I said earlier, it's easy to blame something or someone. And so yes, I am disappointed, I am frustrated, but I don't feel like I'm at a spot right now where I can blame God, because I know that He is not, He allows things to happen that I just don't understand. And I got a lot of questions for Him when I get to heaven. Trust me, I got a lot of questions. But He doesn't allow things to be mean. He doesn't allow things because He's evil or He wants to just sit there and watch His children suffer. Like, that is not who He is. But He does allow things. You know, I can ask Him questions, I can be concerned, I can be angry and talk to Him about it. But the shift that takes place that I want to encourage you in being careful with is when you have a hardened heart towards Him because you're going through a difficult time or you are suffering in a season. Because when you have a hardened heart, you miss the opportunity to see God in that suffering with you, or in that brokenness, or in that pain with you. He comes alongside us and he carries those burdens with us. Even when, he goes to, raise Lazarus from the dead, He gets there and He weeps with everyone. He was moved by their suffering. He could have just, raised him from the dead and moved on with life, but he entered into that mourning with them and the people that He cared for and loved. And so right now, if you are going through something that is just hard and painful, there's an opportunity for you to experience your Creator in a way that you might not have ever experienced Him before. And that is allowing Him to be in that space with you and understanding His heart for you in that pain. And so if you're in a spot of just being like, what the heck? It's okay to have those questions, to talk to Him about it, to bring Him in and just be like, God, I'm angry and I don't understand, but watch your heart and just soak and be in His presence, because He has a plan for you. And the joy of the Lord is our strength. And so to actually be able to function and live off of that strength, we have to be able to be in the presence of Him in order to be able to receive that feeling of strength and of peace. So I'm sorry for whatever it is that you are going through and whatever it is that you are suffering in right now. But I promise you, the thing that will make a difference and the thing that will sustain you is allowing God to be there with you and abiding in Him and who He is, even in the suffering and the lack of understanding and even the frustrations of it all. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. I had plans of starting a podcast and I got all these things lined up and things I'm excited about, and but right now I just don't know how much energy I can pour into these things because it kind of wipes me out. But it's okay. Sometimes we just gotta be still, right? We just gotta be still for a minute. And I will see you next time.